everybody. Welcome to another episode of No BS Just Marriage. We are so grateful to have you here for another episode. My name is Boris. This is my lovely wife.
Hey everyone, I'm Stephanie.
Yes, and we are back for another great one today. I'm excited to get into it. Let's just jump right in. We don't waste no time here. The conversation tonight is about calling it the best friend debate. So, what does that mean? You're about to find out. So, let's dive in. What are we really talking about, babe? Where do you want to start?
I guess I have a question for you.
I wasn't ready for that.
Would you be okay if I had a best friend that wasn't you? A male best friend that wasn't you, actually.
No, you're not supposed to have a best friend other than me, period.
Okay.
I don't care who it is. If it's a male, definitely not.
What do you mean, period? So I can't have a girl best
No,
friend?
I'm your best friend.
No, that's wrong.
Okay, no, I'm kidding. But not kidding. But no, a man cannot be your best friend, and there's so many reasons why.
Why? Why can't I?
Best friend is the person you run to first when something goes wrong. You're sharing your secrets with. Who knows what you've told them and not me. Then like those boundaries. I mean, I'm sure we're going to talk about boundaries a lot in this episode. That's ultimately like you're making your connection with that person intimate because you're sharing secrets with them. You have a personal bond with this person. There's so many lines that are getting crossed, and it's just in no way safe or healthy, no matter how like secure you are, your spouse is in the marriage. I think no matter what, it will lead to some type of turmoil, whether it's, I said that weird, turmoil, on a minimal scale or a large scale. And I think it's just don't even test those waters. That's my answer. That's
a good answer.
Okay. All right. Good.
That's a good
better
answer.
Hear that. All right. Go ahead.
There's really not much to say because I agree with you, and you already know I'm not going. If you ever told me you had a best friend other than me, I'm not going for that. I don't care. That does not happen in this household. I'll tell you that much. I think we respect each other enough to not cross those boundaries. The last thing I need is to allow another woman to be in my role when it comes to, talking to you.
Yeah.
That's my role. I'm your wife.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like wife equals best friend. Wife equals supporter. Wife equals confidant. Wife equals
all the above.
All of the above. So why would anyone else be that for you when I'm everything for you? What you think?
Couldn't agree more. I think this episode could literally be 2 hours long. I don't think we've ever had this problem. Have I ever had a woman best friend? Have you ever had a male best friend? So like, I don't think we have personal stories to say what we've been through.
That's true.
I know that. I mean, I think it's that way for a reason. I just know that we won't allow it. But yeah, I mean, there's still a lot to talk about. In all honesty, I think a lot of people they're open to sharing those pieces of themselves with people outside their marriage, and they call it a friendship. That's the safe word. Is my best friend. I knew them all my life. I knew them before I dated. They were my best friend when I dated these 3 girls and helped me through all these. But at the end of the day, when you're married, that has that puts your marriage in jeopardy of making her feel like she's in second place. And that's goes without saying that should never be the case. So it's a very dangerous game to play.
I'm in first place. Okay. Anyways, it gets trickier when the friendship existed before the marriage. And just like you said, people say, oh my gosh, we were friends first, whoop-de-whoop. But once you say I do, priorities shift, correct? And so marriage does not erase history, but it reorders it.
Okay, I like that. I think, to piggyback, that has a really good chances of making your spouse feel uncomfortable, and they're uncomfortable because you're clinging to your day one friend, and then you're really in that, what you're really saying is their comfort matters than your spouse's peace. And that's a loyalty problem. You're loyal to your friend versus someone that you committed the rest of your life to, and that's just completely backwards. This is weird. I don't know.
just to shift gears a little bit, there's just this thing that just comes to my mind and I just can't get it out. But I'll never understand when women say, like, oh my gosh, my husband slept with my best friend. Like, how does that even happen? Like, in a normal world, yes, we know that happens, right? But I physically cannot comprehend.
No, that's crazy. That is crazy because I mean, this is kind of a different topic, just cheating in general, I guess. With your best friend and a spouse. No, I'm just thinking.
Say what you're
You just made
saying.
me think a lot. Like that's just a lot of like that's a lot of choosing to do wrong. Like from point A of like locking eyes with your best friend to point B of getting closer. And be like, no, we can't do this. We're friends. Then you say, F that, I want you. And
That's weird.
it's like he's getting, and then you just, then you inside that person. And then you 20 minutes in, and like you
20
just,
minutes in is crazy.
and then you just like knowing
So for
both,
20 minutes, you don't realize you're doing something
that's
wrong.
what I'm saying. You both know that like this is wrong. We both are going to say hello to my spouse, like right after this.
Mm.
Like that's,
And
and act
then
like
like
nothing
learning how
happened.
to like save face.
Yeah.
Cause I'm
Like,
not a good liar. I feel like you could read me. I know you read me really well. So I don't know. I feel like I'm like, let's say I cheated. I don't ever think I could physically hold that from you. I feel like I would tell myself
yeah,
before,
your face tells everything.
yeah, I don't know. So, I mean, we're shifting, but
I went far. That's why I didn't want to go there. But at the end of the day, no, all this happens because of access. Like that
Mhm,
word access is huge. I think, allowing that friend that's always around, they know when you guys are fighting, they know
mhm,
when there's complaints, they step into places that your spouse should be filling. And
mhm.
then once that emotional line is crossed, then it's really easy for that physical line to follow up right behind it. So it's scary. It's scary, man. That's the devil, G.
Just to piggyback on what you were saying, there's another thing that kind of like grind my gears, as you would say, is when people are always like, yeah, they've always known me my whole life and no one knows me better than them because you may have known them before you got together,
Mm-hmm.
so they know me. So what? The problem is your spouse should only be the one who knows you best now, nobody
Right.
else. And you're not even allowing your wife or spouse, whoever it is, to get to know you more because you're just holding on to the, well, they knew me and they're my safe space and we're married, but it's, he or she is the person that I
Mm-hmm.
can talk to because it's easier to talk to them. It's hard for me to talk to you because you get on my nerve. You know what I'm saying? Like we get into fights, so it's hard. I'm gonna go piggyback on somebody else. So that's where lines get really
Mm-hmm.
like tricky. It's
I know. I
just
like that. I don't know. This is just made me think of last episode or like 2 episodes ago when we did the like who comes first. I feel like it might have been a little interesting to see if we added best friend in there, like who comes first, spouse, best friend,
mm,
just because like I know there's some best like there's such a like different I think
different
there's a big
layers.
scale
Hmm.
of like best friends to people. Like there could be a best friend, someone they just like they took you in as a brother and you live with them all your life. So like I feel like people would put them like above
Hmm.
a spouse or something. But like I think I don't know. I'm like I said, my mind was just going that direction. I'm curious to see like if there were people who would be like, no, my best friend is my ride or die. I put them above my spouse. This is kind of
I
a
don't
different
know.
topic because we're
I
talking about
don't. I feel like yes, there are people that think that way, but I don't think that's majority.
no, I don't think so either. But I'm just a lot of the things that we thought weren't majority, we were getting
That's
some
true.
crazy answers. So like,
That's
I'm just
valid.
curious to see what would have came out of that. But kind of off topic. But
Yeah. So I mean, I guess just like you said, just to tie it all in, it's not friendship. It's just misplaced intimacy when it
mm-hmm,
comes to
mm-hmm.
who you're involved with in that moment.
Yeah, I agree.
Regardless if it's not physical and you guys haven't done anything, and, oh my gosh, I don't look at them like that. You may not look at them like that now, but
Mm-hmm.
the foundation
Opening
of,
that door.
yes, because at the end of the day, when I think of best friend, I think of, like you said earlier, just somebody that I can confide in and talk to. You're the first person that I think about when something good happens or when something
Mm-hmm.
bad happens. And so let's say you're pissing me off and I have a best friend that's doing all these things for me. And I don't know, they say something right to me
Mm-hmm.
in that moment. And now I'm looking at them a little
No,
differently. And I feel like that's how boundaries are crossed,
that's
because
facts.
just because you didn't do it before doesn't mean you won't do it later.
I keep thinking about how many episodes have we done this for? Because everything we say is making me think of a different episode we did. Because remember we were talking about like how to date your wife or love your spouse, and we were talking about like ah, yeah, we're keeping that. We were talking about like imagine a stranger if you never tell your spouse,
Mm-hmm.
oh babe, you're beautiful,
Yeah.
and then another stranger on the street
Yeah.
says, imagine you have a male best friend, how easy it is for that person to be like, don't worry about Boris, because you just know that you're beautiful, you're dope,
Yeah.
you're charismatic, and you can be like, wow, he never tells me these things. You just gonna jump on him just because of that.
You think so?
Yeah, I just got angry saying that. Sorry, but
You have some problems you need to deal with.
no, man,
Not
just
because I'm gonna jump. How am I gonna jump on somebody?
no, I don't, that's what y'all do, man.
Y'all,
Y'all got me
please.
fired up. All right. Anyways,
We should have an episode on like who cheats more, a man or a woman.
whoa,
And I feel like it's men.
of course it is.
So why would you say that? I would jump on him.
That's the example that's the example I'm saying. If someone's giving you taking it too
I
literal.
have to.
If we're talking about another person, your male best friend that you're
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're
confiding
saying
in.
like I'm gonna jump on my best friend.
Yeah,
Oh, I
that's what
thought
I'm
you
saying.
meant the stranger. I was
No,
confused.
I was comparing like last time we were talking about stranger,
Okay,
but
okay.
this time I'm saying so if a stranger could get that type of feeling
Okay,
too.
yes.
Imagine okay, my
100%.
bad.
Okay, you're
I
right.
wasn't clear. So imagine, yeah, your best friend who's a male. You're like, this is, I'm so safe with this person. I can
Yeah.
trust him. You know, there's so many secrets we already have that in the 15 years we've known each other, like how
Yeah.
it's so easy for you to go with that gut feeling and just be like, this is what my emotions want to do, so I'm gonna do it.
That's very valid.
Yeah. So Piggy, I mean, continuing, we're going all different type of tangents, but yes, and then on top of that, I think there's this fear behind it all. I think people like to say, "I don't want to lose myself just because I got married. I don't want to lose their best friend." They don't understand that the covenant changes things, like those vows, the commitment
Mm.
that you made to each other under God. Like literally, you two are becoming one. So
Yes.
if you're holding on to a friendship because you're scared of losing your identity, you're not protecting yourself. You're putting your entire marriage at risk. So what was the point of committing if there's something else that's more important to you? I don't care how long the friendship has been, whatever the case, especially the opposite sex. Like it's got to get shut down.
No, I get it. Because some people never say it out loud, but they just feel like that person is their safety net,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And so, they're their emotional support through hard times or whatever they say. And like, if my spouse doesn't understand me, they do. Like, all
Yeah.
these excuses is all I'm hearing. And basically, that's just causing an emotional exit plan to temptation, to the destruction of marriage. And so that's just how it all combines together.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're leaning on your friend more than your spouse, your marriage is already in trouble.
Amen. Yeah. I'm trying to stop saying facts
It's okay to say
and say
facts
amen.
sometimes.
It is, but you're right. Facts. That's facts, babe. I think the takeaway with that overall is boundaries are not insecurity. It's insurance. It's because you're telling or showing your best friend like, you know, it's a different part of my life now. I'm married, obviously. We still best friends, but we can't. I mean, not best friends, but we still friends, but we can't. We gotta make those boundaries clear. It doesn't make you insecure. It doesn't mean, wow, you don't trust me to be your friend, or your wife doesn't trust me. It's just, like I said, it's insurance. It's just insuring your relationship. It's insuring everything that you just devoted yourself for literally the rest of your life. That's if you want to stay married. So
That means T. You did good.
that's what the thing right now.
You seen that before?
I seen it. I feel like I seen it on TV. I do have a question though.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm stirring some pots or opening some wounds. But
No.
do you know anyone that has like that's this been an issue for, like personally, like offhand, like a friend, a cousin, auntie who has a best friend who's opposite sex? and it's like low key.
I wouldn't say that they have a best friend. I will say I have noticed in some of my people's marriages that they have a lot of opposite sex friends. It doesn't mean that, they're texting all the time. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what's going on behind closed doors. I promise you. And it's not like this person has ever told me like my man is pissing me off because he has too many female
Yeah.
friends, because I don't think it bothers her this much, but I see it. I think he's just a very friendly person, but I also feel like there should be a level of respect when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to someone's marriage. And if I see it outside looking in, then I don't know what else people are thinking. And I know you shouldn't be caring about what other people think, but it's also protecting the image of your marriage in the sense of not letting anyone think that like you're that type of husband to just be playing in your wife's face with all
Mm-hmm.
these types of women. Yeah.
Okay.
What about
Yeah.
you?
I didn't know he was gonna bounce that on me. I honestly do not think so. Do you, let me know if you think of one from my side, but I don't think so. I genuinely don't think so. I don't think any of my male or like female friends, cousins, whatever have.
Well, I do know one friend that has an enormous amount of women friends that needs to be stopped before he gets married. I will not put you on blast on this episode.
You're saying okay, so you're saying when that person gets married,
I mean,
that
and
could be.
it could change. People do change, but you're just like, no.
Yeah, definitely can't be as. But that's the thing. I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how close and or like real or like best friend type of. I don't know. You right though. That's okay. We can't speak on that. So good question. Let's segue into kind of the next bubble here. I think we have to talk about the idea of our friends versus my friends.
Like, wait, say that again. Like our friends, what?
Like
My friends are
once you're
your
married,
friends?
when becoming our friends, not just my friend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because they are.
of course. Yeah. So
Well, yes.
like we'll talk on that. I'm not saying like all your friends become our friends in the sense that if you just happen to have like a male friend,
Hmm.
best who was your best friend, if you still have a genuine connection, a friendship with this person, now has to become like a mutual like
Of
group
course.
friendship. So that's what I'm
Of
saying. Like
course.
I'm not saying all your best
Well, that's going to be
besties have to be.
hard. Well, number one, I don't have male best friends. I never had one before you, regardless. So like, I've had, I have a lot of male friends, but like, I've never had a male best friend. Even the male friends I have now, like, I wouldn't say that them. Like, they're just people that like I talk to on social media. Like, happy
Yeah,
birthday.
yeah. That
Okay,
we're
so
not talking about that.
so what are you talking about?
This is something we don't have to go. We don't have these issues. Honestly,
Okay.
I'm just saying. You're saying like I'm coming for you.
No, no,
I'm
no. I
talking
didn't.
directly
No,
to
I
you.
was just trying to understand like our
I
friends. Like you're talking
got you.
about like if we generally like had somebody that we were talking to on a day to day. Like
Yes, like if I before marriage had a best friend from high school, a woman who like legit was cool, like even
hmm
you like and respect, but once we get married, it's not going to be that same friendship that we had. It's now a group friendship. Like our communication damn near has to be with you involved type of thing just because again those boundaries, those lines getting crossed or having the potential to or having that access.
okay.
That's why it's big to make sure the title is understood that it's now our friends.
Mm.
Sense?
No, you are. I'm just thinking about this one time you tried me.
Go ahead.
This is before we were married, but I'm not gonna put anyone like I don't want to put anyone's name out there, but there was a situation where this is very early on when we were dating, and you introduced me to
Yeah.
everybody and they mama. And mind you, this woman was somebody you had a situationship with. So
Mm-hmm.
not only was she your friend, but she was also your situationship.
Mm-hmm.
And you really never said like, oh yeah, like
Yeah.
anyway.
Scared.
So I just remember being in the same room with her 3 times, and you never introduced me to this girl. And the rage I was feeling inside, because number one, who is she? Because why are you hiding her from me?
Mm-hmm.
And number two, if it's really just a friendship, why is she such a secret? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
you put me in this position where, number one, I had a very hard time trusting you with just like the truth in what you were saying, like when it comes to people in your circle. Like I
Yeah,
said, I
yeah.
didn't know your friends and I didn't really know you yet, but like just that girl, she just kept popping up and you just completely avoided introducing me to her. And I'm like, why? So I'm like, so
Yeah.
that would only contradict you saying like our friends is your friends because you didn't want her to be my friend.
That's true, but we weren't married. We talking about marriage right now.
No, no,
That's my
no, no.
safe answer right now.
No,
But
you're right. You're right.
okay,
But just to clear the air, she's still like one of your, good friends and you have introduced me to her.
and y'all had a great conversation.
We did. And I had an open conversation with her as well. Because I
Mhm.
think she kind of felt like, yeah, Steph don't like me. And
Okay,
it
intimidated.
wasn't even about me not liking her. It was about you putting me
Yeah,
around her.
that's how I handled it.
Yeah, it was how you handled it.
Yeah,
So I just remember telling her, like, bro, I'm just glad we were able to talk. But
yeah, that was completely my fault. Let me remind everybody, we're 6 years apart, and I was my
it was your younger days.
younger 20s, and I just was nervous. I
Why?
didn't know how to handle it. Anyways, our
Okay.
friends versus my friends.
But yeah, I agree. Your friends are my friends and my
Okay.
friends are your friends.
So if I can't bring you into that friendship, then it doesn't belong in my life. If this is someone who you legit, and again, we're talking about opposite sex. That's what we're talking about now. I feel like if you tell me like, no, I don't have the greatest vibes with this person, and I genuinely was like, babe, no, meet this person. Let's try to see, And after several attempts, you're just like, no, I can't. Like, this is why. This is why. I just have to respect it. I think it's either our friends or it's no friends at all
I
when it
don't
comes to opposite sex.
I don't know if it would be that easy with you.
Probably not, but we won't ever have to find out. Hopefully, I don't have a woman best friend, so but
Yeah,
that's what we talking about.
I
So
agree with the whole your friends are my friends, but I also believe that it's so much easier, especially if you're married, to have other married couple like not best friends, but friendships.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So my friends are married. Majority of my friends are married. And so I can honestly say that you are pretty good friends with their husbands too. And you're good friends with my friends. And majority of my friends are married. And so I can honestly say that you are pretty good friends with their husbands too. And you're good friends with my friends and vice versa.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, we're not out here going outside with them separately.
Yeah,
Okay, we don't do that over here unless I don't even know what circumstance would I would be going out with your best friends, like your
yeah. My best friends like wives.
yeah, like I don't. I mean, I would never put myself in a situation like that because I don't want nobody to ever try to say like Stephanie, I was out with my man. No,
Wait, wait. You're saying
like if you hung out with like my friends, like with like
your woman friends' husbands?
no, my woman friends by
Oh,
themselves.
oh. I thought you were saying their spouse.
I
Okay,
confuse
okay,
myself,
okay.
but
No, yeah. What the hell?
yeah,
I was about to say because I did go out with we had
who?
a your friend's husbands. Remember we had
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like
No,
I'm like, what's wrong with that?
I'm talking about opposite.
Got you, got you, got you, got you.
But
Okay,
yeah,
okay, yeah. No, yeah. I think kind of a different topic too. I think it's only right that of course we're talking about now allowing these other opposite sex friends for our spouse. We have to hold that same accountability and that responsibility for them as well, if that makes sense. So like if if one of let's say I don't want to throw names, but let's say one of your like good friends, even like your good friends, their husband.
just say JoJo. That's my cousin.
No, okay. For me, I'm thinking Kiera, like
Okay, go ahead, Kira.
Kiera and TJ. So Kiera
Okay.
is your really good friend. You know,
Shout out, sis. You.
shout out to Am Fam. Like we have a really close relationship with them. Of course, a respectful, marriage to marriage friendship
Hmm.
overall. But like even for you, you have a duty, a responsibility to not be too close to TJ, even
Oh,
not not
oh
to
no,
like yo, between me and you, TJ, like this is something
never,
me and Kiera like talked about. Like that's
never.
that's I'm just I'm giving an example. We have to make sure we're holding ourselves accountable
Of
too, and not
course.
making sure we're just saying, oh no, you're not allowed in our lives, but we're contradicting and doing the same thing to
No,
other
for
people's
sure. No,
marriages.
I get what you're saying. Like, there's still boundaries when it comes to our married couple friends. Like, we're all close. But I think because we have a solid friendship, we all have a mutual understanding of knowing not to cross certain
Mm-hmm.
boundaries with each other. And I think that's why I love my circle so much, because there's never been a situation where I'm like, oh my gosh, like they're going to stop talking to me, or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they felt like I did something wrong. And if there is, please send me a text now, because I don't believe that I have.
Hmm.
But
That's
I will say, I don't know if this happens to you. I probably not, because you love talking. But for me, when I'm talking to someone's husband, especially my friend's husband, in any situation, I'm literally counting down the minutes of how long I've been talking to them. I don't ever want the wife to ever feel like I'm talking too much to their husband.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know if that makes sense.
that
Like,
does.
I don't want to, like, I can do the small talk. I can just like say, like, it's crazy. A lot of people, like you say before, they're very comfortable with telling me things. And so if I notice that it's getting too far, I'll be like, bro, you better call one of your homies because
Mm-hmm. I can see you
I
saying that.
I just don't want to be in the middle of any of that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to know about y'all problems. I will never allow that, but I will never kiki with any of my friends' husbands for too long, because I don't know, it's just a respect thing.
Yeah. I don't, yeah, that's funny. I definitely wouldn't say like I count how, cause like I'm gonna just keep using Kira and TJ, like, cause we have great conversations with them. Okay. And Kira, like, even just like every time I like have a real conversation with Kara. Like we're talking about testimonies. We're talking about, some marriage stuff. We never get deep about like, damn, this is what me and stuff going through. So I know how to make sure I'm not crossing that boundary of like, okay, now we talking about
Hmm.
sensitive, exclusive information. I was gonna say something
Or
else.
you're saying like you and Kiera?
Yes, me and
Yeah.
Kara, right? So like you said, like you time your conversation. I don't think I
Okay,
necessarily.
not
I know,
being
I know
dramatic.
you're being dramatic, but I feel like you do necessary. You are good at like. I think you're better at that than me. Like, I was gonna say something else. What was I gonna say?
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit on my couch for hours talking to nobody's husband.
No, no, I forgot what I was gonna say, but I think we've spoke enough on that topic. Next little segment here, I think I want to ask you some quick hitter what if scenarios, some hypotheticals of like what's okay, what's not okay, what would you do in this situation, what's the right or wrong, whatever. So these are obviously going to be areas where boundaries are getting tested. So I think first one is what came to mind is, so if your ex man wants to stay friends with you after getting married, what are you going to do? Are you allowing that?
Ex man or ex best friend?
Ex man.
Ew, why would I have any ex anything in my life?
Who knows what kind of relate? Maybe it was a very cordial ending. You guys realized you were better as best friends than a
Mm,
couple.
no.
Y'all know so much about each other. Y'all dated for 20 years. I don't know.
Mm, no. I mean, I don't talk to any of my exes.
These are hypotheticals.
Okay, you're right. I'm sorry. They are hypothetical. No, I would not. Would you?
No,
I mean, you never had an ex, so I guess you wouldn't really know that answer.
these are hypotheticals.
Okay,
Stop bringing
okay.
up reality. Why is that no?
What?
Why is your answer no? Why? Why can't? Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Out of respect for you. Um, I don't know. I'm an overthinker. I would never want you to question anything that's going on with me and him, even though there's nothing going on. Like, I never want you to like just be like, could it be a thing? So the only way to combat that is to just not get involved.
Good answer, Steve. Um.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
What if a coworker was texting you late at night?
Is it about work?
Why? What?
Kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, shut that down. So I'm trying to think. Has this happened? A scenario like this almost fake happened. But the
Who?
the answer, well, it wasn't a text. It was an email like about work.
I think the question is more
I know,
so
I know, I
like,
know. I'm just that's where my brain went when you. That was the only like thing I can relate to. But these are hypotheticals. It's already one thing. A coworker.
why does she even have your number?
I mean,
Hmm,
some people at work have numbers exchanged. You never know when something is
interesting.
urgent. Um.
Okay, she can send an email.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
If
know.
it's not about work,
I
I
just
can.
don't believe in crossing professional and just I just ill. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a whole discussion for another time, but she could just Slack you, Skype you, whatever.
Okay. Next question. I think we kind of answered this, but what if the opposite sex starts venting to you? Like they legit going through some real. That's what I was gonna ask. That's what I was gonna ask. So again, Kira and TJ, we using them this whole episode. What if legit like TJ went up to you on some like, yo, I know you real cool with stuff. Like I kind of trust you. This is kind of what we going through. Like,
What you mean? I'm cool with Kira.
yeah.
You said Steph.
Sorry. Cool with Kiera. We need help in our marriage because this is what's happening. And he like kind of gets a little too deep, like, you know, and you just are like, you can help and you want,
Hmm.
to fix their marriage or like give them some ways to improve it.
Hmm.
But when do you detect that like, okay, no, I can't cross that boundary?
Well, number one, I'm never gonna leave anybody hanging, right? So I'm not gonna be like I will hear somebody out. I will never shut down somebody venting to me. Because like I said, I think that's just a natural thing. I feel like that's a gift that I have from God that I can't just be like, oh, don't tell me anything.
Mm.
Now, what I will say is, if that scenario were to happen to me, I would say, I can only think of a Bible verse that can probably help them in that moment. But I can't see myself
Mm.
giving advice to my best friend's husband. Like, not even just because it's her husband, but just, I guess you could call it a conflict of interest.
You sounded too excited to say that.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I mean, yes. Keep going. I want to hear you.
And then I would redirect him to you because I feel like,
Mm,
I think that Boris would be better suited to have this conversation with you. So that's how
that's a
I
good
would.
answer.
That's how I would approach it. And I like to go deep in my advice, but I probably would give a very surface level response plus a Bible verse.
But would a part of you feel like not guilty, but like, man, I know how I do have the answers of what he's asking, but he crossed the boundary. Don't, would you feel like a little bit of like a part of why their relationship isn't improving? I'm sorry to use them as I do not wish this on Kiera and TJ at all. I'm gonna stop saying it.
Okay, please. Wait, what's your question?
Like, would
No,
you?
no, no, because it's not our jobs to fix. I think that's something you're dealing with that we've talked about in the past. You just have this sense of feeling like you have to fix everybody and everything that they're going through. And that's not our job when it comes to anyone that we're dealing with. We can give our advice, but they may not even listen to us. If anything, we should be giving them valuable resources to go to,
Yeah,
like, hey, we have a really good therapist. Shout out Erica.
I think you said it right. Like you would refer them to me. Uh, I could only give advice of if I was in a situation with you. What would I do? Things like that. It's just sort of I don't think I ever thought of it that deep because like
Why you would say you would reach out to my friends and
no,
ask
I'm
for
thinking like
advice?
if I was on some real, I don't know, I just don't never really thought like if I was ever in some deep stuff where I'm like I need to go to Sam or I need to go to Kiara and be like, yo, how do I do this? How do I fix this with Steph? And they've been like, I can't. It's crossing the boundary. I would be like, damn, they hate me.
I mean,
Um,
that's how I feel. I don't know how they
no,
feel.
I do respect your answer though. I think that is the way. I think that is the correct way to move.
Yeah, and I think I would feel some type of way if you were having these long, deep conversations with my friends,
Gotcha.
especially with very intimate details about us.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
Yeah.
that's weird.
I agree. I agree. Okay. Any more?
I
That was a good question to end with. No more hypotheticals ever again. Okay. To wrap it up a bit here.
feel like I'm sitting funny. I'm so sorry, y'all. I just feel like blah today.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
You don't look like blah. You look like brah.
Okay.
Anyways, well, all right. We're gonna keep it 100 here. Some of our viewers that's gonna be listening, we're gonna be real. We know a lot of y'all are close to somebody that y'all shouldn't be close to. You got that work wife,
Mm.
trigger,
You got triggered?
work husband, not trigger, because I just thought of my old job when my work wife. You
Who?
you made that title for me, my work wife,
Who?
your best friend.
Tati?
Dots, yeah, but no, not ill because of her, but ill because of where
No, I did
respectfully.
push that on you, but
You
that
did.
was
That
that
was
was when I was ignorant.
I didn't even know what that was. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like 19 years old. I don't want a wife.
I was
Anyways, back to the audience. So yes, you have that one bestie of the opposite sex that you don't want to let go of. You've got a DM thread. You've never ever shown your spouse. That's dangerous.
Speaking of work wife, work husband, this okay. So I'm sorry, Kiara, that we keep bringing you up in this. I have to use her as an example because
Oh my, are you gonna tell this story?
I have to.
This is like
Um,
5 minutes.
it's not gonna be 5 minutes, but um, like I said before, I knew what the true meaning of work wife was. Like I had a lot of work husbands when we weren't married. Remember, I had Josh. He was my number one. I
Mess with Josh, she was cool though.
Yeah, so I did have a lot of work husbands per se. And I think it was just a comfort word. I don't think I ever I never hung out with them outside of work. I never text them. I didn't even have their numbers. I don't even know why I
Hmm.
did it, but I could see how that can cause controversy. But before I get to the Kara situation, I saw this TikTok. I'm trying to remember this TikTok. Oh, yeah, maybe I will post this clip, maybe not. But there's this TikTok of a woman. I don't want to mess up the story, but she was just crying, saying her husband had all these work wives at work to the point where those work wives made her so uncomfortable whenever they were in the same.
This is real.
Yes.
That's how this. Oh my
Something,
god.
oh, or maybe he baked the work wife a cake for their birthday, but didn't do anything for his own wife.
What a loser. Create a loser.
So yeah, that story kind of blew me because I'm like, people really do things like that. Yeah. So back to Kiara. So
Going
this is
everywhere
not an
today.
episode about Kiara, I swear. But I don't even know why.
I think you were about to tell the story about how you were talking about work wives. She wasn't my work wife, but I think you were about to tell I'm assuming you were about to tell a story like how we were like work friends and
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean
You
the
guys
story is
were.
pretty obvious. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys were work friends. And I'm just going to give a quick story here. So, Boris, my lovely husband,
Okay.
always texts me or called me during lunch every single day faithfully. And one magical day, he decides to not text me or call me. So, what do? I blow his phone up, still no answer. And so, you call me later and you're like, it's nothing. I was at lunch with, you know, Marvell, Kira and Tati or whatever, right? Or I don't know.
It
Who
was
was it?
somebody. It was Marvell, Kira, and another girl.
Another girl.
It was another girl. So yeah, that makes it a little
And
worse.
so, what tripped me out about that whole scenario was it was your pattern that changed. It wasn't even necessarily about Kiera. It was about you missing out on calling me like you
Hmm.
typically do. So you made my mind race. And then what's worse, my best friend at that time also worked with you. And she had texted me. She was like, "Yeah, Kiara's so beautiful. She kind of resembles you." And I'm like, "What?" So there's another girl at his job that kind of looked like me, and he go to lunch with her, and he not calling me. I'm like, "What's going on here?"
That's the nicer version.
Why are you saying that? Was it? Yeah, you're right.
I'm like, no, I won't interject no more. My bad. Go ahead.
But anyway, long story short, I ended up meeting Kiara, and I was like, "Wow, she's a fabulous one. Like, she's such a good person." And I don't know where I'm going with this story.
Talking about, I think that work wife word triggered you, and just like relationships of people at work. And I think you just had to tell that story because it is a genuine story of like something that could have bubbled up into like, oh my gosh, this is like me crossing a boundary essentially. Where
Well, you didn't cross the
no,
boundary.
but like because I initiated that, that like I was inconsistent with the way I communicated with you, and
Mm-hmm.
that's because of another female that was at my job
Yeah.
that could have created something huge. And me just saying, "Oh no, that's my friend, that's my friend, that's my friend,"
Mm-hmm.
you would have been like, "No, no, no, that's still,
Yeah.
I don't feel good, I don't feel right." But because y'all, again, that's why I said earlier, like about having an opposite sex friend, if you not jiving with them, if you say after meeting them a couple times and
Mm-hmm.
it just doesn't work and you say no, then it's just no. So it's either our friends or my friend.
That's
So
facts.
yeah,
Just to
she
put the
is
cherry
our
on
friend.
top. No, she's my friend. Just to put the cherry on top, she was your friend first, but she's my best friend now. You see how that works? She's both of our friends, but she's my best friend
You
as
on our
well.
nuts. Let's go on to the next part.
No, but you get it, babe?
Yeah, I get it. Yes, that's your friend. Okay. All right. So what else we got to talk about? I just want to make sure we kind of went on all levels. We
We
went all
did.
directions. But in all seriousness, I want to close this
Mm-hmm.
with some real facts and things to walk away with. So at the end of the day, I think it's important. The word is boundaries and respect. So we want to make sure your marriage, your covenant is protected, and ultimately your peace and your trust is unbreakable. So
Yeah.
this is one topic of conversation where a lot of people get lost in understanding the differences in these relationships and ultimately who comes first and what that
Hmm.
means when you say your spouse comes first. There's a lot of things that you have to sacrifice to make sure your wife is happy. That's
Yeah.
it. So yeah,
Yeah. And if somebody calls that insecure,
cuz here.
I didn't curse. I said, I didn't
Okay.
say the full word.
Well, I think we made our point, and I think this
Hmm.
was a great episode.
It was a lot longer than most, but we had to get it all out.
Yeah,
And I feel like this is a very important conversation to have. And if you are dealing with this in your own marriage where you feel like you are second to your spouse because they have another best friend that's not you, I would just encourage you to just pray on it and just let God lead. And
amen.
because He's always in control, don't be fighting the other person. Like, don't fight. And that's another thing I kind of want to end it with. Don't take it out on the opposite person, because yes, we know that that person should know better than to cross those lines, but you got to hold your spouse accountable because you made that vow with your spouse and nobody else,
That
and they
person
should
doesn't.
be, respecting how you feel and what, and should be respecting the order of marriage. So
Sorry, I was going to interrupt you.
it's
I
okay.
apologize. I was just going to say to add to that, that person ultimately doesn't owe you anything.
Yeah.
They don't owe you nothing. They don't. They probably haven't even met you yet. They know
Exactly.
your husband for 20 years, and they just met you for a day. Boom. We're gonna end there. I would love for some comments to see what y'all opinions are on everything we talked about. Any stories if y'all want to get juicy and tell us, and
You love tea,
we'll do
bro.
what we can to help. We might, if it's too deep, we might be like, hey, Erica, help him out. But yeah, we'll end there. We appreciate y'all. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one. Love y'all. Peace.
Bye.